coefficient tells you how it ends on the right. So positive leading coefficient, it ended up on the right. Because it's odd, it discos. So we know it ends down on the left. For this one, it ends down on the right. It ends up on the left. Okay? So we're going to talk about that. I think your brain's going to forget all these things. So we're going to try something different for today. We'll come back to that. Can you guys flip to this page, please? A few pages ahead. All right. So we are going to follow along with our calculators closely so that you're not actually overwhelmed. If you follow along, it's not so bad. Okay? I also told you, okay, today's the day where when I talk, you can't talk. It's actually every day like that. It's crazy, but we're going to really do it today. So, if you don't pay attention and follow along, you will be lost souls, and I can't bring you back. Okay? You'll just be lost, and then such is life. If you are overwhelmed, that is normal. You'll be overwhelmed today, but then after that, you'll find it really easy. I promise. Okay? So don't go into panic mode, and then you like, I can't find that button. Oh, we're going to do this slowly. We're not going to be overwhelmed. Everything is amazing. Okay? Okay. But that means you can't talk and chit-chat, or you will be lost. So these are the steps on how to find x's and y's and all that stuff after we get the equation. We're going to flip to the next page. This is the one that we're going to follow along with today. So it's how we get stuff into lists. If you were in 20-2 and you did statistics, you can get stuff into lists. But you didn't do any of the rest of the stuff. Okay? So all we're going to do today is we are going to get our data into the lists, list 1 and list 2. We're not going to delete lists. We're going to clear them in between. Think, I don't want to delete lists, so I'm not going to press delete enter. I'm going to press clear enter when I want to clear the list. Okay, but someone's going to delete the list today. I'll bring it back, but we're going to try and remember to clear lists. We're going to put the data in, and we're going to get the equation, and then that's it. Then we're going to go to the next one. We're going to put the data in, we're going to get the equation, that's it. Data in, equation, that's it. That's all we're practicing today. We're not doing anything with them. We're not even writing the equations down. All right? Okay. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to look at this page over here. This is the page we follow all the steps in. This is where we're going to get some information from. So let's just read this together. So it says, the 1 hour record is the farthest distance traveled by bicycle in 1 hour. The table below shows the data. This is the year, this is the distance. So this is X, this is Y. This is list 1, this is list 2. I wish my computer actually let me have my calculator up, but it said that it is dead and it won't let me have it. So you're going to follow along with I'll be showing it to you, which kind of sucks. But I believe in you. You're very smart. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to get the data into the list. Are we listening? So we go stat. Everyone's pressing the button stat. See here? It says enter data into list. You go stat, edit. Stat, edit. And then I get my list. Everyone listening? Are you all listening? Okay, go 1, enter 2, enter 3, enter in list 1. Okay? 1, enter 2, enter 3, enter. So you would have 1, 2, 3 in list 1. Right? Everyone's there? And now you say, oh no, I want to clear that. I want to move on to the next question. So everyone listening, I don't want to delete it. I want to clear the list. So I'm going to arrow all the way up to L1. Now it's blinking on the L1. Is everyone black on the L1? Then go clear, enter. and it clears the entire list. All right. So we did stat, edit, and we're in the list. Correct? Stat, edit. That's it. Stat, edit. Press stat, edit. You don't have the stat, your stat button's rubbed off, so it's right below the delete button. Stat, edit. You just don't have the thing. Yeah. I remember now. We have to do something like that. Just have a white. You're going to get a white out. I got it. You have to go all the way up to this line. Here and alright. So everyone learns how to clear it. Forgot you have buttons that don't have things on them. Someone decided to use an eraser and erase them, and I would like to find out who that was and then be like, you're me. Can't do that to myself. Okay. We all listening? Stat, edit, we have our list. Everyone has that? Okay. So, we're going to go over here, and we're going to type these in to list 1. And then we're going to type these in to list 2. Now, the catch is, for every list 1 number, there has to be a list 2 number, correct? Everyone paying attention, stop doing stuff for a second here. What if they gave me 2011, but nothing in list 2? Could I put that one in? No, because for every X, there has to be a Y. So I would just not do anything with that one. Make sense? I would skip it. Even if it was in the middle, I would skip it. So every X has to have its corresponding Y. Okay. So, well, let's look at the previous page. It says, enter data into lists. We'll talk about the R-squared value later. We go to C, we have to identify what polynomial. So the polynomial options we're going to have are linear, which is the line, quadratic, which we did last year, and cubic. Cubic looks like this. Just has an extra curve in it. Okay? Linear, quadratic, and cubic are our options. Now, this one says, determine the linear regression. So we have to do linear, even though it says you don't get a choice, right? So, everyone's paying attention? So we decided it was linear. Now we have to press this. So once we're done that, we go stat. This is how to get the equation, to get the regression equation. You're going to go stat, and then use the right arrow key to get to the calc menu. So we move over to calc. And then our options for this unit are 4, which is linear, 5, which is cubic, or quadratic, and 6, which is cubic. Well, 4, which is linear, 5, which is quadratic, 6, which is cubic. What did they tell us we had to pick? Linear. So which one do we have to pick? 4. And then just go enter for now. Did you get the equation? No. Some of you are going to have to go enter, 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 enter. So the equation pops up. So if you have the crappy old calculators, you're going to hit enter once, it's going to pop up. And if you have the fancy ones, you have to go enter, 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 enter until it pops up. So everyone should have y equals ax plus b, a equals 0.858480, b equals negative 1635.73280. If you don't have those numbers, you typed something in wrong on your list. So it's very important that your lists are typed in correctly. Okay? So everyone got the linear regression? All right. Good talk. I'm moving on to example 2. Shh. Let's listen. I'm going to start a question. What should I do so I don't accidentally use the same data from before I start this question? You go to stat, edit, and then do what? Clear. Enter for list 1, not delete. You're not deleting, you're clearing. You delete, you're deleting the list. Clear, enter. So go up to L1, clear, enter. Go up to L2, clear, enter. So everyone should have blank lists sitting in front of their faces. Does everyone have blank lists sitting in front of their faces? Yes? Yes? I'm looking for panicky faces. Does everyone have it? Okay, let's read this question. Matt buys t-shirts for a company that prints art on t-shirts and then resells them. When buying the t-shirt, the price Matt must pay is related to the size of the order. 5 of Matt's past orders are in the table below. So this is going to be our list 1, our X, and this can be our list 2, our Y. Go. Does everyone have the data in? And you look and your list 1 and your list 2 are the same length. Because that's what happens. A lot of people will call me over and they're like, Mrs. Lepp, it doesn't work. Tell me dim mismatch. It mismatches when your lists aren't the same length. It literally can't calculate it, right? So that happens often when you just miss a number, or I give you a data list where there's an X but not a Y, or there's a Y but not an X, and you have to leave that one out. We talked about that, okay? So here it says, determine a linear regression equation. So we go to our list, our little table we want, and remember, it says you press stat, then over to calc, then which one? 4. So everyone's doing that. Stat, over to calc, number 4. We're all getting the linear regression. Does everyone have a linear regression on the screen? Does everyone have a linear regression on your screen? It should be y equals negative 0.0065x plus 6.5. Because your A's and your B's will go into the A's and the B's. Does everyone have that? Yeah. Not too bad? Okay, we're going to move on to the next question. What do we do? Stat, edit, clear your list. Now, obviously, there's a lot more to this. There's questions, there's equations, there's all that stuff, but we're just getting equations today. Not overwhelming ourselves. So this one says the world record time for the men's 100-meter sprint was 10 seconds in 1960. Table below shows the world record since 1960. And they want a linear regression as well. So list 1, list 2. Go, I want to see if you can. So this one's linear as well because it says linear below. You should have in front of your calculator, in front of your face, you should have y equals negative 0.00665171129. X plus 10.03286977, something like that. Yeah? You don't? Remember, it's just a data list entry point you messed up. Sometimes it could be me who messed it up. You're all agreeing with me, so that's fine. All right, clear your lists. We're going to do example 4. This one, once again, is a linear. Go. All right. Y equals, you should have 404.891303. X minus 300.36231188. Yeah? Okay. Next one. This one is a quadratic. So what's going to change? We're going to pick number 5, not 4. Right? We're going to pick quadratic regression, which is number 5. So we did stat, calc, number 5 this time because it's quadratic. If you did linear, you will not match what I have. So it is y equals negative 10.0714287 x squared plus 51.40857143 x plus 11. Takes you to work? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. This one I wanted to give you specifically because sometimes they do this. Why they do this is so it doesn't take as much paper up. So let's read this question here. It gives you example 6. It gives you years after 1979 the price of gas. So year 1 would be 1980, right? Like it's years after 1979. But if you look, then it's 1979 and price of gas again. So what people think is this is 4 lists. This isn't 4 lists. This is them saving paper. This list would normally be super long, correct? They just took it and split it and put the other half here. So this is technically list 1, this is list 2, and then they cut the list in half and plop the second half over here. So this is list 1 and list 2 again. So go 0, 1, 2, all the way to 14, then go 17, 20, 22, do you know what I mean? All in list 1, make sense? And then in list 2, you're going to type all of this. And this one here is a cubic regression, so now what are we going to use? Number 6. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. It just made it so it doesn't take up the whole page. Hopefully. A is 0.0012283. B is negative 0.46451. C is 6.29503. Blah blah blah. D is 23.45161. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Okay. Number 7. Go. So I got A is negative 6.88, E to the negative 5. So that's actually a whole bunch of zeros before it. 0.00854, C is negative 0.064, and D is negative 9. Okay. I'm showing you one more step now. Everyone paying attention? Do you have the equation on the calculator in front of your face? Okay. I'm going to show you guys how to get this to show up into your y equals so we can actually graph it. Paying attention? Without having to type all those decimals because that would suck. We agree? So, once you get the equation showing up on your screen, there are steps way back here, but I'll explain them to you. On the bottom, we're just going to follow these ones. Because everyone's calculator, this works. That's what we're going to do. So once you get the equation to show up, you're going to press y equals. And you're going to clear out anything in there if you have stuff in there. Okay? So you're in your y equals. Is everyone in y equals? Yeah? Okay. So I go to my y equals because that's where I want my regression equation to go to. Correct? So now I have to get into that y equals regression equation. Because I just found a regression equation and I want it to go there. How do I get there? So how you get there is you press the y equals, then you press bars, which is right beside the clear button. Bars, and then you go to statistics, which is number 5. And then you go over to equation. What does it say now? When you do bars, statistics, over to equation, what's beside number 1? Reg equation. What does that represent? The regression equation you just got. Correct? So you are putting the regression equation into y1.
Oh, wow.
Enter. And it puts it into your y equals. Does everyone have it showing up? Do you have it showing up? You press y equals bar statistics over to regression equation. Okay. You now, paying attention, you now just have the equation in there, but your window is probably crappy for this question. The windows are the easiest things to do for these because they give you data points. So if I go back to my question that I was on, this one, correct? That's the question I was on? Everyone paying attention? Remember, list 1 is x, list 2 is y. We agree? So what's my lowest x here? So I'm pressing window, right? I'm in window. My lowest x is 0, and we're talking temperature. Can temperature go below 0? Yeah. So I'm going to make my x min a little lower than my lowest x on here. So I'm going to make it be negative 10. Okay? My x min, I'm going to make be negative 10. Now my x max, what's my highest x currently? 30. Right? My highest x is 30. I'm going to double it. So I'm going to make my x max be 60. So currently, I have my x minimum of negative 10. I have my x max at 60. I'm below the lowest and I'm above the highest. Right? You can leave your x scale be 1, that's fine. It just makes every tick 1. So if you can't, if it's all sudden it's a black solid line, you can make it worth 5 each, and then maybe you'll see some ticks, or 10 each. Okay, it's just how much the ticks are worth on your screen. Okay, let's go to our y min. So the volume, what's the lowest volume we have currently? 999.87. Yeah? And our highest is 1,003. So it's not going up substantially quickly, is it? So I need to be below 999.87. So maybe I'll go 990 for my y min. 990, it's a bit below. My highest is 1,003. Maybe I go to 1,010. And then I press graph.
With decimals or just like the number?
1,000 times. Yeah, because we don't need the decimal, right? Then you press graph, you can see part of your graph. Yeah? All right. You're welcome. Okay. So, guys, one last one for today. I want you to type this one in. It is a quadratic regression, so we're picking number 5. I want you to get it to show up in your y equals and graph it. Do all the things. All right, please. So time can't go below 0. So I would make my x min be 0. And then it has 3.5 is where it's ending in negative because it's a dolphin in water. You could double it, you could go to 7. And then your y minimum has to be below negative 1.45. Don't just look on the endpoints because sometimes the highest is in the middle, correct? So I can make it be like negative 10, and then my highest on here is 1.39. I would make my y max be like 5 or 10 or whatever, and then you should be able to see it. Did everyone get it to show up on their graph?